I mean, the only quick news is that Game Informer shut down there. Yeah. What is your memories of Game Informer there?
I remember having the subscription to that magazine as a kid for a while. In fact, I remember, I had no way of knowing how bad the game was gonna actually be. But it was like right around when the first Iron Man came out. I think my dad went and got me the Iron Man game for the Wii, and it was a terrible game. It was not a good video game at all. But it was the Wii version, which I think was worse even than like the PS2 one. But yeah, and then he went and picked that up and he was like, "Oh, I got you this too. I thought it looked interesting." And yeah, I mean, I remember having it for a number of years after that. I mean, like I said, I even worked there at GameStop briefly, which was kind of I did not the greatest experience, but I got a discount on the magazine. So I mean, I've got some nostalgia for Game Informer as like a thing. Um, Certainly some. I haven't looked at it in a very long time though. At this point, it's probably been 10 years since I really picked it up much. So I mean, like I remember back in the day, some of that cover art would be really cool. Like I remember the Dead Space 2 one stands out as being like especially memorable to me. But yeah, I mean it was a fun time at the time, getting to see news and just getting to look at things. I guess magazines hadn't gone totally out of style yet at the time. Um, but it had also been a while since I paid attention to it.
Yeah. So here's some of the famous covers that people kind of putting
Modern.
up. This one, Arkham City, right here. I really remember this one very distinctly. I
Yeah, that
remember
was a good one.
that one was a really badass one. Then you have Mass Effect here. Um, you got
Yeah.
Portal 2
Portal.
here.
Nice. That
Uh,
was a big deal when that came out. I remember that.
Uncharted 2 right here. This is Dishonored. This is a really cool cover they have here for this
Yeah, that's
one.
awesome.
Right here.
Oh, it's for the remake there. That's pretty recent.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people remember. Yeah, a lot of kind of famous ones with the covers that you have there. So yeah, it says right here. So GameStop has shut down Game Informer after 33 years, laying off the entire staff. The closure halted the completion of the magazine's next issues and erased its online content. That's a lot of people mad about it. It's erasing its entire online content just like that, just because it
Yeah,
got
that's kind of shitty.
and since the decision reflects GameStop's ongoing financial struggles and frequent layoffs there. Um, yeah, did you leave GameStop or you got fired from GameStop?
Oh, I quit.
Oh, you quit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't get laid off there with GameStop.
No, that was like 2014.
Mm. When did the whole they were doing the stocks thing and when that happened? Like in
That was
20
like right. That was like 2020, like 2020,
2020. Oh yeah.
maybe early 2021.
Yeah, they were boosting up the stock of GameStop during the pandemic because there's like that was one of the essential businesses that had to stay open because they sold mouse pads and mouses, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Being just bored during the like lockdown and stuff, I went into like a deep dive rabbit hole watching like GameStop news for a little while there, and there was I remember reading like the like managers or district managers of the GameStop stores in all sorts of places were like telling their employees that like if the police try to stop you from coming into work, show them this note and tell them to call me. They were like telling like their employees to like challenge and like fight police officers over going to work and they did so many bad things and one of the most memorable ones was they didn't spend any money to send like hand sanitizer or like cleaning stuff to any of the stores that were staying open, and then they got like they they got come down on for that. And so what their solution was, they basically just made their own in-house hand sanitizer at their warehouse in Texas, which was just rubbing alcohol in boxes that were not labeled as flammable. They illegally sent through the USPS mail system, unlabeled as flammable.
Yeah.
And it was just rubbing alcohol that would show up at the store. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to clean anything with this?
Jeez. Um, was rough times during the pandemic, very rough times there.
And,
Uh,
and GameStop made it a lot worse for themselves than most businesses did.
and I know GameStop, like before the pandemic, they had all this plans of like doing like in-house tournaments and things like fighting game tournaments and doing that
Yeah, they
stuff.
wanted to turn it into like a place that gamers could like meet up and like do stuff in public and in person and kind of turn it into like not just a store but like a lounge almost to hang
Yeah.
out. And I mean, I tell you, as someone that worked there for a little while, they did not pay you enough to deal with people who were in and out in 5 minutes, let alone people that were going to hang out and lounge all day while you were open and talk to you. I mean, that's going to be the number one thing. Like, I mean, we know, like, look, I'm a nerd, but you know how nerds can be. They will just sit there in the store and they will talk to you and distract you from doing your job the entire day. That was not going to go well for the people that were working there.
Mm, yeah. So I mean, because it seemed how much because they would have to probably expand how big it was because like GameStop is pretty small. Like it's not a big kind of place. Like if you ever been in one, it's like okay, then you walk in, it's like not much room there. So it's like depending on how they would do, it's like how big you they would probably have to make it way bigger. Um, but it says right here also, so Game Informer, the longest running gaming magazine in the U.S. I didn't know that has been shut down after 33 years of publication. This is on August 3rd. The staff were reportedly called into a meeting by a parent company, GameStop, where they informed of the closure and received details about severance packages. Former employees, including video lead Alex Von Aiken, noted that Game Informer's site was taken down immediately, preventing staff from backing up their work, that's a shame if you're trying to apply
Yeah,
for a new job and you want to probably give in your resume, it's like, hey, this is what I've done. This is all the articles I've written. This is things I worked on. You can't do that. So this is him on Twitter here. And it says, we can't access the website to back up our years of work. It's just a landing page now with a farewell message on that. And then he also commented, said, yes, I backed up important files, but we publish thousands of materials yearly. There were 12 out of us at the end producing a print magazine, online stories, podcast videos, not to mention a rigorous travel schedule, mostly shared between 5 or 6 editors. There is no time there. So that kind of is terrible for them that they just are not able
yeah,
to kind of even access that. And then you also have this person right here says also commenting on news. Content director Kyle Hillard revealed that the team was close to completing the next issue when they were laid off. Game Informer has been closed down by GameStop, and the entire incredible talented staff, including myself, have all been laid off. A frustrating turn of events, especially considering we were about 70% done with the next issue, and it's going to have a great cover there. I mean, at least seems like they could at least had them go out like, hey, if this is going to be the last one, make it like the farewell magazine, GameStop,
yeah,
Game Informer edition. Like maybe collector's edition. Somebody could do if somebody is a big fan of that. And
absolutely.
do that. And then this person here, Ben Hansen, says, I'm furious about the end of Game Informer. It was an incredible 33-year run, and then GameStop pumps out this phony, empty farewell message. And he says, I bet money it was written by AI. And then he says, fuck
Probably.
you, GameStop, and a huge fuck you to Ryan Cohen there, who I'm guessing is the head of GameStop, I'm guessing, Ryan
It
Cohen.
might be. I mean, that would make sense. I'm not totally sure, but
Yes, he is
yeah,
the
no,
CEO of GameStop.
it's an awful thing to do. I mean, GameStop's always been a bad business. I mean, I've seen it from the inside, seen it from the inside and the outside. It's always been a terrible business. It's always been kind of predicated on, being like kind of a pawn shop almost, where you're like kind of tricking kids into trying into like selling their stuff for this tiny fraction of money to get like $1 in store credit to then buy like a $60 brand new game, which if they try and bring back in like a week, will get them $30 in store credit. It's always just been a greedy, kind of shitty business. Um, like I'm sure some people have a certain amount of nostalgia just because it's like like Blockbuster. It's just a place, just a physical place that you could go to purchase a thing. And so I'm sure there's memories attached to that for a lot of people. But the for me the business practices of the company just ruined any nostalgia I could have for that. And having worked there myself for a little while. I see. I mean, like I was there when I was there. They tried like pushing like a GameStop credit card. I just remember like having managers like really being like, "No, come on, ask every single person that comes in the store if they want to sign up for this credit card." I'm like, I don't want to sign up for this credit card. You think I want to convince these? Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just it was always just kind of I don't know. I don't know, just very greedy, very I mean, I thought the Game Informer magazine was probably the best part of GameStop's business. So, if anything, I would love for to have seen GameStop shut down and then Game Informer, the magazine, be the only thing left. That would have been a better outcome, in my opinion.
Yeah, guy showing off his I mean, this is a collector. He says he's collected a lot of these magazines here. And this video is from 8 years ago. So he's showing off a lot of these things there, a lot of these covers. Yeah, I remember, yeah, getting some Game Informer magazines and GameStop, I mean, they say in the article right here, like it's struggling as a company financially as it's been there for a while now. I don't think
Everyone's hated them for a while.
I haven't heard of a time when GameStop wasn't struggling financially, honestly. And you talk about the perks and the rewards and all that other stuff that I mean, a lot of businesses do that. The perks, like, hey, sign up and get the app, and you get the credit and get the points, and you
They
can
reduced that a lot over time too.
what the points and everything.
Like the size of the discount that you'd get for having the membership and
Mm.
yeah, like the amount of points you'd get when you bought. Like they would slowly like knock how much each of those things was down quite a bit over time.
Yeah, and if you want something as far as, like, video game related controller, actual video game itself, any equipment, do you actually go to GameStop or you just get it online? Or where I mean, what do you do?
I try to buy stuff. I honestly have bought a lot of stuff off like eBay, especially because like if I need a controller, it's usually because I need a controller for an old system, like my you know original Xbox from like 2000. It's like, oh, I need a controller for that because it's a 20-year-old thing. So I usually go to eBay and I buy stuff secondhand, or look for it. And I mean, I've gone to like a Best Buy for games probably more than a GameStop in the past. Although that is cutting down on what it's got available going forward here. So I mean, the sad thing is, yeah, we're pushing away from physical content so much that so many game sales are going to be digital. Like lots of like Alan Wake 2, right? That didn't even have a physical release right away. It's going to get one, but it's a whole year before that happened. Black Myth Wukong later this month. That's a digital only, a physical release coming at some point in the future. And even when you buy physical discs, uh, a lot of the time, nowadays, the majority of that game data is not on the disc. You put that disc in your system and it connects to the internet and it goes like, all right, now let me download 70% of the game digitally because the system is recognizing the disc. So even when you do buy physical media for video games, a lot of the time, it's kind of not really physical media even then anymore. Like, sure, you get the box you can put on your shelf if that's what you want, which for me personally, I like to be able to see the spine right on the shelf. But you're kind of the advantage of having it physically, all of the game being on a physical thing that you'll be able to keep and not lose access to. Even that's not really true anymore with a lot of these physical releases. So, but at the same time, all of this Game Informer shutting down, them just losing all the archive of this stuff, that's another really good argument to have physical media for everything and not just rely on digital because, hey, look at how this stuff is just disappearing and they can't, like you said, they can't use it for their resumes because it's just gone.
Wow. And then also, so the article goes on to final stuff right here. It says, to many Game Informer was more than just a magazine. It was a significant source of gaming news, reviews, and features for decades. In its primes, it stood alongside publications like GamePro and Electronic Gaming Monthly. Its acquisition by GameStop in 2000 helped solidify its presence through the retailer's stores, offering subscriptions as a part of the GameStop Rewards program. Despite the recent reintroduction of direct subscriptions, Game Informer's closure reflects a broader struggles within GameStop, which has faced ongoing financial challenges and layoffs. Um, the end of Game Informer marks a significant loss for the gaming community, closing a chapter on a publication that had been an integral part of the industry. Yes. Yeah. So farewell to Game Informer. I hope the employees that did get laid off find something and find some good work there,
Yeah.
afterwards there. It's a shame what happened to them, shame they can't find their work. I mean, maybe some people hopefully a lot of people like Alex who said, like I mean, he backed up some of the stuff there,
Right.
but there were, like I said, thousands and thousands of, material there over many years that they can't even get to now, that is just gone, that's just locked up there. And same thing happened in media. We talked about it with HBO Max canceling a lot of these animated shows like Infinity Train,
Yeah.
that the creators of that, it's like they can't even make any money off of that. Even if they cancel the show, it could just be on the platform there. It's just gone, there.
And not that long ago, Sony shut down like one of its digital movie services, and everybody was just like, "Oh, I paid for these movies, and now they're gone." It's just
Yeah.
there's been a couple of these big loss of digital content moments recently, and I wonder if one of them can be bad enough to get people to kind of pay more attention to the idea of physical media being necessary for situations like this. But I don't know. So far, it hasn't happened.
Yeah. So that was our news for the day.